Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101, and we're asking you the question, did somebody's music taste that you went out with ever affect the relationship? In fact, possibly break you up? Did you hate what your partner liked and vice versa, that they hate what you liked? So this came from a crew member. It was a post that we found, a 26-year-old female who says, anonymous, I have spent the last month really diving into Pearl Jam's music. So someone that's young but wasn't totally into Pearl Jam. Unknown to me during this exploration was the fact that my boyfriend, who's 30, hates their music. I at first laughed it off when he told me, and I would tease him by singing their songs just to get a reaction out of him. Don't call me your daughter. So she would do that, annoy him. And after seeing it actually bothered him, I respected his taste and stopped doing that. And now only listen to them with my headphones on or when I'm home alone. That's a pretty big thing to do, a pretty big thing to give up.
I don't understand why she has to do that just because he doesn't want to listen to him. Why can't she just, she can't be downstairs and listen?
Well, she said she saw how it annoyed him that much. So last night, she said, was one of those nights I was home alone, enjoying a bottle of wine, blasting verses, and then I got a notification on my Spotify asking me to join my boyfriend's speaker. I immediately thought about how funny it would be to troll him and randomly play Even Flow through his speaker. But I ultimately decided against it for fear of making him mad or embarrassing him at work. When he got home, I told him about my potential prank, and he just blew up, saying he had just walked in the door and didn't want to be bombarded with the worst band ever. He went on for several minutes just crudely bashing Pearl Jam, Eddie, and calling me an idiot for being their fan. It was pretty rough. I went upstairs crying, and about an hour later, he came upstairs to, quote, apologize. Instead of apologizing for his outburst, he apologized for hating the band and doubled down on calling me names for liking them. I went to sleep on the couch. It's now the next morning, and I know what to think about the whole. I don't know what to think about in the whole ordeal.
Well, I wouldn't say music broke them up. I think he just sounds abusive. She should probably not be with him as a whole because it sounds like they're not really married with kids or anything. So
no, they're just dating.
Things are going to get harder than liking bands. So if I were you...
If Pearl Jam was enough to set him off like that, yeah, it's probably a red flag.
That's psychotic.
By the way, Pearl Jam's awesome, by the way. So that might be a time to move on from that guy.
That's just not good. That's just funny to be like, oh, you almost played it on my speaker. You'd have to hit her with a frying pan. Good Lord. 765 texted and said, I broke up with a girlfriend in college because she thought Nickelback was better than Blink-182.
Wow.
Huh.
Well, listen, I'm not going to pile on Nickelback, but Blink is better than Nickelback.
Yeah, but Nickelback is still good. I mean, is that fair?
Yeah. Well, no, because
you
listen,
just like one more?
I mean, of course, this is a girl in college, broke up with her, and maybe he just figured, you know what? I'm not going to go further here because this is the tip of the iceberg. If liking Nickelback is certainly not as good as Blink-182.
I read that and it sounds like you wanted to sleep with your friend. That's what it sounds like.
My friend probably loved.
She loved Blink-182.
But check in 312-591-8300 with when music actually affected a relationship. And by the way, Joe's checking in to defend Pearl Jam here. Joe, ahoy! What's up, man?
That guy would have been right out on the street. My wife, Pearl Jam, came with us, in the vows, and we've seen him 20 times. And you want to go down that route? He would have been on the street.
Wait, so you had Pearl Jam in your vows at your wedding?
No, we didn't have him in the vows, but
he's saying it's a part of him.
Comes with the package. It's a package deal.
Some people come with kids. He comes with Pearl Jam.
Yeah, I mean, listen, with my wife, Megan likes a lot of things I don't necessarily love, but she goes to shows all the time with me, and I go to shows for her if she likes somebody, because I love seeing live music. I'll go see anybody at least once to check them out, and, we definitely like a lot of the same music, though, too. So it's there's a big crossover, but I'll go out with her to go see something. I know I'm not going to like this, but... for example, a couple weeks ago, she wanted to go see Sarah McLachlan.
Oh, really? A lot of people want to go see Sarah McLachlan.
And I said, Well, listen, I don't love her, and I'll also think of dogs when she starts singing that are very sad dogs.
Your whole thing, you're just going to see a montage of abused animals?
Yeah. I said, I'll go. But I said, I'll go. If you want to go, let's go. Now, I don't know. We didn't go. So I hope I didn't deter her from going. I said, I'll go and sit there and think about sad dogs in the arms of an angel.
Yeah, it's a sad one.
That.
You like that?
I nailed it. Do it again.
In the arms of an angel.
Wow, it's like Sarah's in the room with us.
That's why Megan didn't go. She just heard you.
That's right.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101, and we're talking about music and your significant other's music specifically. Has it affected your relationship? Has it made you break up if you don't like it? And vice versa, if they hate your music. Ryan checked in from the South Side, said, anything my wife likes that I don't, I just sing it loud and change the lyrics like Weird Al, and it usually involves wieners. For example, Lady Gaga Poker Face becomes Wiener Face.
I think you could have kept with the Poker Face theme and switched to the other, you know what I mean?
You know, a lot of geniuses are not appreciated in their time. I think history's going to look back very, very kindly on that man.
And by the way, Ryan is first-time texter. Welcome to the party, man.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
Q101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. And we're talking about music with your significant other and how whether you hate it or like it or it affects your relationship either way because they don't like your taste in music. And Case, you had a story you wanted to share on this somewhere?
Well, I'm not saying the guy from the original post that we read regarding Pearl Jam is correct, but I do understand where he's coming from. And I need everybody to answer the question. Tell me if I'm wrong, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I was with a girl for a few months, and I liked her, and I thought she was cool. We didn't have a ton of the same music taste, but there was enough overlap there to where it wasn't torturous. You know, we weren't on completely separate planes. A few years ago, the Hella Mega Tour was coming to Wrigley Field. Weezer, Fall Out Boy, Green Day.
Amazing tour.
Good stuff. Good stuff. And Green Day, we all knew was playing last on that show. So I told her, I said, well, I can get us tickets. You know, do you want to go? And she was like, yeah, you know, I want to go, I guess, to see Weezer, but I want to leave before Green Day. I said, you want to leave before Green Day? I don't understand why. And she said, well, I don't really care for Green Day. I would much rather just listen to the American Idiot musical that came out.
Oh, my God.
And I was never attracted to her again. And we were together for a little bit while longer, and years later now, I've never shaken the fact that she would rather listen to, for those that don't know, there was an American Idiot musical that was on Broadway, that she would rather listen to that over Green Day. It's never made sense to me. It's always thrown me a little bit off kilter, and it killed that relationship dead in its tracks.
Okay. In fairness, you went to Columbia. Was she like a musical theater student?
She did not go to Columbia, and she was not a musical theater student. That opens up a whole other can of worms.
I was going to say, she's by her passion, and you're like, in fairness.
Good investigation question, Kenzie.
You're just crapping all over her lifelong dream.
What else do you like? You know, I don't know, Chicago, Mamma Mia.
He spits on her. It's like, well, she just likes it.
No, I don't know. I mean, if that's your passion, I don't know. Not for me, but especially the Green Day thing. I was really thrown off by that.
Yeah, she likes Metallica, really, and stuff, and the Green Day musical, which might be amazing. I've never seen it.
Yeah,
it's probably not
really good. Like
I can't imagine it is.
Rock of Ages was awesome.
I didn't see that.
And that's like all like it just literally tons of music from like the 80s and 90s, etc. Like, but used into like a story, and it's so good.
And they actually hired a lot of those old hair metal guys. Some of them were in that musical, playing instruments and stuff.
I heard the movie's not good. I have not seen the movie, but it on Broadway is very good.
All that being said, you should stick around for Green Day at Wrigley Field.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying you gotta love them.
She sounds like she has taste.
No, I don't know.
Like the musical, it was probably phenomenal.
You don't need a Green Day tattoo, but maybe stick around for them.
Green Day Pumpkins, of course, at Wrigley Field with Rancid coming up about less than 2 months away.
She's only going to go for Pumpkins and Rancid.
Right.
She's going to go see Rancid and then watch the Pumpkins, then leave for Green Day and head over to
of course.
Murphy's for a beer afterwards.
God, that was upsetting. I never looked at her the same way again.
Sounds like it's holding with you a little bit.
It
I
is.
think you're still mad.
Like, you're in a happy relationship now for 2 years, I think.
I love it.
And he wants to punch through a wall.
You're moving in with your girl.
I know. Well, she likes Green Day. She respects them.
Yeah.
No musicals in our house, I tell you what.
Oh, God.
Wow. You sound controlling.
No musicals in this
Not
house.
in this house. Not your joy. Not in my house. I like this one text, though. Because this Bex texted and said, free jazz makes me angry.
Amen.
Okay.
He's basically just saying, like, I get where that guy's coming from because if free jazz was in my house. That's amazing.
And by the way, being someone that's an aficionado of some jazz music out there, not all of it, but some of it.
What about free jazz?
It's not, the opposite effect is supposed to happen. You're not supposed to get angry listening to jazz.
Jazz makes me anxious. It just goes nowhere.
Okay, I'm not.
In contrast, it goes everywhere, which I find confusing.
I'm not going to turn this into me defending jazz for some reason.
You didn't wake up and roll out of bed today wanting to do that?
I did not expect to die on that hill today. But there's a lot of great artists out there that I enjoy. In the meantime, you can enjoy coming to London for Bears Jaguars with Brian and Kenzie on Q101. The trips are moving. We want to pack the place. So go to Q101.com/London for your chance to get not only the game and not only a flight and not only a hotel, but a lifetime experience in London, whether you've been there or not. Because this certainly will take you around to the food and the drink and everything else. Premium hotel, premium seats, exclusive experience at the Bears game in London, which may never happen again. Let's be honest. These things get scheduled, and then every year different teams are picked for things. This may never happen again. Do not miss it if you are a diehard Bears fan and mainly just someone that looking for a trip that changes your perspective on life. That's what this will be. So Q101.com/London has all the information.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
Mumford & Sons. I'm Brian and Kenzie on Q101. And today is I can't believe this was a year ago. Pouring one out, sad anniversary of 1 year after that Titan submersible implosion when they went down to see the Titanic. All those very rich people got on the sub made by another rich guy, and then they were never seen again. The thing basically imploded, and they really still don't, a year later, have any specific answers about what happened.
Well, when things explode, it's hard to...
I mean, yeah, they did find the wreckage of it, and they brought it up. I mean, when you were seeing the documentaries after it went down, he was controlling it with a $30 Logitech gaming controller to send it down. And you're like, well, these people paid like, what, $20 million to get on the thing or
Just
something?
about, yeah.
And then that's what you got. And he goes, no, you don't need any more than this. Well, it didn't come back up.
Well, I don't know if the Logitech controller was as big of an issue as just the entire construction of the machine they were going down in.
I still have some Logitech controllers from like 20 years ago, and they still work.
Well, you could drive a sub.
They still work.
Brian, get down in the ocean.
Put them to good use.
I don't know how you have that sense of trust, especially people that have made a lot of money. Somehow they did that smartly, I would imagine, getting on and then seeing that and going, so we're going down in this thing. Why didn't someone have the common sense to say, I don't know about this. I don't know if it's going to work. I don't need to see the Titanic that bad.
No, what I love is in the fallout of this. Rich guys have such interesting brains because they don't filter common sense the way that we do. I think about this with jersey sponsorships a lot, where, the first company that put their logo on a sports jersey, the fans were like, well, we hate this. This ruins the jersey. And then every other billionaire was like, what if I put my company on a jersey? They don't process things right. This has become an entire industry of people now racing to be the next person to take a submarine down to the Titanic in the aftermath of this explosion, as you said.
Well, why not? Who does, $1 billion? They're like, well, let me show you how to do it right.
I guess.
That guy was a moron, but I can do it.
I'm a smart billionaire.
Well, the thing is, too, with people that become billionaires is they did something by being bold or brave, usually, and when everybody told them they were crazy, and then they did it, and they made $1 billion. So I'm going to this sub I made in my garage. I'm going down there, and they go, well, he must be right. And you're right, Case. There's a lot of people now that are trying to redo it now again. And even though James Cameron, who I consider the expert on the Titanic, he even said, like, these people, it was unfair what he did because it cast a bad look over everybody that's a pioneer and an adventure seeker because he did it right. He spent his billions on making sure the sub was actually real when he went down there.
Real submarine. I like that that's where we're at. He used a legitimate one.
I saw the video of that Titan sub, I'm like, I wouldn't.
Well, that's what happens when you go on Groupon and get a Titanic diving session. It's not good.
I wouldn't just go stroll around Lake Michigan on that Titan sub when I saw the video of how that thing looked and worked.
The problem is a submarine is one of those things you don't really know what it should look like, though.
Kenzie, that's an excellent point.
You get there and you're like, oh, wow, I guess this is what a sub looks like. You don't realize, that's not a common thing where you're like, well, this is a bad sub compared to the other ones.
No recliners in here?
I can't believe they battle with these. This is unbelievable. That's what I would have thought.
They don't. I mean, that little thing, too, when they sat in there was just very makeshift, metal seats and all that. And we're going down, that deep to go 2.5 mile descent down the sea of the Titanic. And I don't know.
That's what if they're like, well, you can't have cushions on a submarine the way the water? I'd be like, oh my God, I had no idea. This is an area that I can't dispute. I understand why you're like, I guess this is just the way it is.
I just pictured when you said that. Guys walking down with those horse collar pillows, getting on the airplane. Mm-hmm. They got on the sub with those. They're going to take a nap on the way. No, you can't.
You cannot bring that on here.
You cannot bring
the
that.
Cushions react and it chokes you. I get it. I understand where they're coming from. I get it.
I guarantee one of those billionaires was in his pajama pants.
Oh my God, yeah. He had a Sports Illustrated fantasy football preview magazine.
I bet but billionaire pajama pants are different. They probably have a little Bentley symbol in the corner. They came with the car they bought.
They stopped at the Hudson gift shop and bought some snacks.
Oh, man, those combos are really expensive. What's happened to our economy? Back in my day, pizza combos were $3.
Oh, those poor guys. Those poor people.
These sad billionaires. What would we do without them?
Okay, they still died, Case.
I agree. Maybe they should have been in the sub in the first place.
Yeah.
Well, how would you know?
I'm telling you.
This looks like a safe sub.
I don't think they're, to your point.
I could understand the red flags if the owner of the sub was like, no, I don't feel like going. But he went.
Well, that's true.
I get why you're like, well, obviously, if this guy is willing to come.
I mean.
I'd feel like that is another reason. I'd be like, all right, well, this must be what subs look like, and the owner wants to come.
The owner wants to come along on the ride.
Yeah, it's fine.
What if everybody got on, and then he took a step, and he goes hold on. You know what, guys? I got a text here I got to answer. You guys go ahead.
See, that'd be a red flag. That would be a red flag.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q 101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q 101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Lauren coming in. Take you through this. Not our hot day. But before we get there, let's do our takeaways. Your takeaways from today's show. The most memorable moments for you. With Brian and Kenzie here on Q101. Case, what do you got?
Meredith checked in from Naperville. Brian's wife, Megan, didn't go to the Sarah McLachlan concert because she has Sarah McLachlan at home in the form of Brian.
In the
oh my God. I didn't think it could sound worse.
Do you want to give it one more shot?
I do. In the arms of an angel.
Wow.
How about
The
that?
cicada flying in your mouth.
That was a little odd.
I was doing the Stevie Nicks like that.
Going through puberty.
In the arms of an angel.
Jeez.
How does Stevie Nicks do that without shaking her head like that? Because I have to shake my head to go.
She's incredible.
It also doesn't sound like that.
That sounds just like Stevie Nicks. Do gypsy now.
Stand back. Stand back.
Are you okay?
I just hurt my
All
neck.
your chins are moving.
I just hurt my
weird.
neck really bad.
It looks like you're telling me to get off the grass. You look shaky. Oh, no.
All right, thanks for sending that takeaway in. Kenzie, what do you got?
Chef John, takeaway, land house, boathouse, roadhouse.
You have to go to Kenzie's Crimes, understand that one. And finally, from John 219, checking in from Indiana, my takeaway from today's show is Camel cigarettes are the choice of most doctors.
Amen.
Yeah.
In a repeated national survey, doctors in all branches of medicine, doctors in all parts of the country were asked, "What cigarette do you smoke, doctor?" Once again, the brand named most was Camel.
Now, as Kenzie did a deep dive on this, it turns out back in the 50s, doctors were just given Camels for free.
They gave a bunch of doctors Camels and then said, "What cigarettes are you currently smoking?" After they handed them a pack, and then that was their research.
Camels.
Amen. Like this is slam dunk. 10 out of 10.
Kate, what's coming up on the podcast?
More talk about smoking in the 6 a.m. hour.
Don't do it. Don't start it.
Of course not.
We feel bad for the people that are addicted. You got to get off it somehow.
7 a.m. we poured one out for Marge Simpson. If you're a fan of The Simpsons, shocking information there. And then also 8 o'clock we talked about how Pearl Jam ruined somebody's long-term relationship, as well as Kenzie's crimes. All that and more on the Brian and Kenzie podcast today.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.